This Friday, we have the PFL Championships in my hometown of Washington, D.C. You're there right now. You're wearing a Washington sweatshirt. Dude, how we feeling? How we training? How's it all going?
Everything's great. I'm ahead of schedule in terms of my weight, so the weight cut won't be as bad. Um, Washington's an awesome city. I got to walk around a little bit. We went to the Smithsonian National Natural History Museum yesterday, so it was really dope. Just getting ready for the fight now.
Dude, I saw that. I love it. I think I went to those museums every single class field trip growing
Yeah.
up in that area. So you've had a little bit of time to go out and explore, walk around, take it in. Camp hasn't been too crazy recently.
No, camp's always super hard, especially towards the end when I'm like going down in calories a day and you start to feel that a little bit of fatigue, but that's completely normal. Um, but it was a good camp. I'm ahead of schedule on weight. So yeah, I did a shakeout yesterday with my buddy Maz. He came here from Denmark, and yeah, we're just getting ready for the fight, and I'm excited to just freaking rock 'em sock 'em on Friday.
There it is, and that is certainly what you're known for. I've been at a lot of these PFL fights myself. I've seen you just drop dudes left and right. Uh, awesome how that's going. Dude, talk about the PFL a little bit. I'm going to ask you about your fight next, but talk about the PFL and how that's treated you, how your fights have gone there, and just the relationship you have there.
I'm so blessed. I mean, words can't even come close to convey how grateful I really feel for the PFL to just give me this kind of opportunity. To get this kind of experience as an amateur, it's completely priceless. This is pro experience. To travel abroad and do all the media and go out and have the big production that they have, fight on ESPN. This is pro experience. So to be able to get this as an amateur, it's it's completely priceless. I'm super grateful for it. It's only going to prepare me even more for when I turn pro. And yeah, so thank you to the PFL, man. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. I know they had just partnered with Bellator, so I'm excited to see where that goes. And they've added so many guys to their roster. So yeah, the future is super bright for the PFL.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I certainly wanted to ask you about
Mhm.
that too. I mean, Bellator, obviously a powerhouse addition that's just going to continue to grow that brand leaps and bounds. Are there
Mhm.
any super fights you got coming up that you might have an eye on for the future? Anything that's jumping out at you?
Honestly, no. I haven't turned pro yet, so God willing, I get a victory on Friday, and I'm gonna sit down with my coach, see if I think I might be ready to turn pro, but see what he thinks, and I'll announce it very soon though after Friday.
Oh, well, that's awesome, man. Well, let's talk about Friday. Let's get back into it. Obviously, big plans for you in the future, and everything's going incredibly well. You got an undefeated fighter, Joel Lopez, coming in on Friday. Any thoughts on this fight coming into it? How have you been preparing for him?
Yeah, I don't know too much about him. I've only seen his first fight, which was in 2019. He had 3 fights in the course of 4 years. This will be my fourth fight just this year, so I would say I'm a lot more active. But yeah, I mean, he's got a couple subs, but I don't think he's going to be able to get me to the ground. I wrestle with the best guys in the world, and all I do is wrestle and grapple. I don't think he's going to be able to get me down. Um, I think it's going to be kind of more of a stand-up fight, but again, a fight's a fight, so I'm open to all possibilities, and I'm just going to go out there and just walk him down, really.
Oh, absolutely. This is going to be awesome. Again, I can't wait to be there. I'll be right front and center, hoping for another big knockout by my guy.
Mhm.
Brother, you've been doing it all, man. You've done modeling before MMA. We've talked about this on the show. You were a football player as well. I mean, again, talk about how that lifestyle leading up to this has kind of prepared you for MMA life in and outside of the ring.
Absolutely. Since I was really young, I always kind of had the pressure of my grandfather. And in football, like my freshman year, my freshman team at Bishop Gorman did really well. And somehow Max Preps found out who I was related to. And I'm still to this day don't know how they found out. But ever since, because Max Preps, they do coverage on high school sports. And yeah, since they found out, it like just blew up. And there was a lot of media, there's a lot of interviews. I was doing TMZ interviews. I got a modeling gig because of it and stuff. So I think that a lot of the exposure that I got with football was just to prepare me for this next career and this next leap in my life. So yeah, and obviously there's certain things like with discipline and football, showing up on time, certain things that transfer over to MMA. But yeah, it's everything. I believe everything happens for a reason. Everything that happened with football, even the adversity that I faced in college, I never really got the opportunity to play. I kept thinking like, why am I not getting the opportunity to play? I was a high level athlete in high school. You could use me. I ran a 4.3 40. You could use that in your offense, but I never really got the opportunity. And I kept wondering why. And then after football, I was just depressed and spiraled in depression. And living in Las Vegas, I went out a lot and made a lot of stupid decisions. So ultimately, depression is like led me to MMA. But I believe everything happens for a reason, and I believe that God made this happen so that this could happen.
Brother, I'm right there with you. I myself had my football career came to an end early from a nasty injury. Luckily, the WWE was around the corner, and then TMZ after that. So finding a way to reinvent yourself is always paramount, because the reality is you can only play sports for so long before you got to have the next thing ready. And for you to find a second life as successful as this had been is a huge testament to you. Obviously, an incredible resume, done a lot of things before this. Another guy that's now in the PFL that's done a lot of things before this as well, a guy we've had on the show a bunch, Jake Paul, coming into the PFL, obviously a superstar signing. Any possibility maybe we see you two square off in the future?
Yeah, see, the thing is Jake is so much heavier than I am. We're not even in the same weight class. I fight at 55. There's no chance in hell Jake Paul can make 155. And I'm not gonna go up because that'll just deter me. That'll slow me down in a fight. So yeah, no, I support Jake Paul. I support him in his fights, whoever he fights, but I don't think that matchup makes any sense.